Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Welcome back from yesterday. It's the End of the Bench, 100.7 The Score. I'm Rob Breaux, alongside David Collier, Lucas White. We are in the First United Bank studio. You can call in the Visual Edge IT hotline 806-771-0973. You can also hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line there in the apps, brought to you by Happy State Bank, or on the website doubleTSportsNetwork.com. You can go to doubleTSportsNetwork.com, read about Texas Tech being in the college football video game, get some thoughts on where some players rate from Choice Woodman. Also, both Raider Red and the Mass Rider are in the game. You can also check out a bunch of baseball stories from Jamie Lind, some softball action, and you can vote on the End of the Bench Starting 5 Draft Sports Nicknames edition that we did yesterday. If you weren't listening yesterday at 10:30, we drafted sports nicknames, the three of us. Right now on the website, Team B is winning pretty handily. 54.5%.
Oh, it dropped a lot.
Yes, and Team A was way behind yesterday.
Yeah.
It's caught up.
Caught up to Team
me.
C.
Well, to C. Sorry.
Yeah.
it's random.
I was about to say, I really feel bad for Team C.
It's random and anonymous. So, yeah, Team A, whoever that is, was really behind yesterday. Yeah. Now Team A and Team C are 22.7% together.
Yikes. When I looked Team A, the first time I looked, the Team A had like 5 or 7 per something really, really bad.
Yeah.
It was like 70-something to, and then whatever the math is.
Right, yeah. So, Team B in the lead right now. I will probably just let it ride until we do another draft, and we'll close it then.
Yeah.
At some point, I'll probably put it on Twitter as well to get a couple of more votes, but we'll let it ride on the website for now. Go to doubleTSportsNetwork.com. It's up near the top. You can see a graphic of our faces.
Nice faces, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, that was hard work to plug those into the AI machine.
Oh, I'm sure. But is that Rick and Morty style or something like that?
I think it turned into like a Family Guy style.
See, the eyes just didn't look. The eyes look like more like Rick and Morty, I think.
Yeah, I said 2000s animation.
Yeah.
And it got those out. It
like
was even funnier.
Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, it was even funnier with.
Yeah.
It was even funnier with the shoulders in there, but it just didn't fit. Like if I would have asked him to do the whole thing sitting down and had him sitting on the bench, maybe we go that direction next time. But we had the draft yesterday. We'll do it again Wednesday at 10:30. Every Wednesday this summer. A lot on the line. If you win a draft, you get a point. The one with the most points at the end gets a get out of Tiny Wheel free card. Get out of Tiny Wheel free card. And you could also say, man, the Mavericks, sorry, get ups on the TV. The NBA draft was last night. That's enough about the draft. The starting 5 draft. The NBA draft was last night. The Mavericks did indeed take Cooper Flagg. They were showing some Cooper Flagg highlights just a second ago. There's a bunch of old dudes playing college basketball, man. I first looked up and it was like, is that an NBA highlight? Oh, no, that's him at Duke.
He's not an old guy, though.
No, but the guy who's playing was like balding with a headband.
One of the guys that was drafted by the Thunder last night, 23 years old, Nick Clifford from Colorado State. I looked it up, and he's either the same age or older than like 7 or 8 guys on the Thunder roster.
That's crazy.
At 23.
At 23.
And Trey Johnson, who got drafted by the Wizards, is 19. So he's one of the youngest ones on the Wizards.
He was wearing his pants from like middle school too.
He was.
Yeah.
The fashion at the draft is always interesting. The 2003 draft will always be the greatest set of fashion.
Was that the TJ Ford?
Yeah, LeBron.
But was
TJ
TJ
really
Ford
baggy?
Because TJ Ford had a really baggy,
yeah,
like wide,
hilariously
long,
wide. Yeah.
It wasn't great last night.
But I did see the Lakers to win the West had like the 10th best odds now after drafting Cooper Flagg at like plus 20,000. They had to have been, or plus 2,000, sorry. 9th best odds. They had to have been second with Luka last year in the odds. Third.
I would think, yes.
Are they a better team today than they were a year ago?
No.
No, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Certainly a different team. Now, if everyone's healthy, which does not seem like it's going to happen much for the Mavericks, if everyone's healthy, I think they'll be a quality team. But how many games do you expect Kyrie and Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg and Klay Thompson to all play together? And Gafford, who's been injured? And a lot of people thought with his new deal that they were just setting up to trade him.
Yeah.
Getting him on a team-friendly deal to get him out of here.
Yeah. Well,
and then Kyrie denied his team or player incentive yesterday and re-signed for 3 years instead of 1. I think he's been really good in Dallas. Not only on the basketball floor, but I think he's kind of reset himself.
Yeah.
Getting out of New York, getting out of the limelight, I guess, because certainly Dallas has been in the forefront of the NBA conversations in the last couple of years, especially with Luka. But
yeah,
it's a football town.
Yeah, different everything. Media is a little bit different. You said football's and baseball. Don't forget that World Series.
Sure.
Not long ago.
I'd still probably put the Mavericks at 2 in Dallas and the Rangers 3, but
really. I don't know.
I don't know. It might be the Rangers too.
I mean, with Luka there, it was probably...
it's certainly Cowboys 1.
Yeah.
And then it's probably 2A, 2B. There's probably, it's a gap, and then...
Oh, yeah.
And then probably... they're good fan bases. But media attention and all that, I would just say that of all the large markets, and the DFW is one of the biggest markets in the country.
Yeah, and definitely.
But it's just not the same.
Nationwide, I think you would probably say definitely NBA because they want to talk about Luka. And whenever the Rangers were in the World Series, it was like, oh my gosh, baseball.
Yeah, Major League Baseball is gonna tank because we don't have any big markets here. It's like, well, Dallas is a pretty big market. It's not like San Antonio. All right, more after this. 100.7 The Score. We'll have some headlines. The Texas Rangers won a series. They're 4 straight on the road. We'll talk about that, and we'll ask Lucas if he wants to double down because Baltimore and Texas will play again next week.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. The End of the Bench. Let's see. Going back to the PayPal information. Kamo says, I'm assuming PayPal Venmo. Venmo is owned by PayPal, but more widely used now, particularly by younger generations. I hate PayPal, but use Venmo daily. I feel like that's a personal thought. I think a lot of people use PayPal, and you can. I think you could probably get a debit card with Venmo to use Venmo, but that's like the whole thing of PayPal. You can also do PayPal credit. You can get a debit card off PayPal to use right there, so you don't have to get a bank account. Because if you're growing up somewhere and then going across the country to play for somebody, and you don't want to set up a new bank account wherever you are, and I don't know if somebody prefers Venmo, I guess they can do it. But you know what I prefer to use? Where my millions and thousands of dollars are going. That's what I'm going to use. Yeah. I'm going to download whatever app they tell me to, set it up, and have my bank in my pocket.
I doubt that. Yeah, I doubt. I only use Venmo. Well, we're only paying PayPal.
Yeah.
I use a PayPal.
Cash App. Can we do that?
Yeah. The pay in 4 option every now and then.
Yeah, I've used that before.
PayPal monthly payment thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't really use Venmo.
I bought my...
Maybe the players can put their PayPal account as their name on the back instead of just their name.
Instead of their Twitter handle like Dion does.
Yeah. Their Cash App. So, they can put their Cash App on the back for their name. We can have a PayPal logo on the front.
The PayPal, not the Cash App.
Yeah, my bad.
The Rangers' schedule is kind of brutal coming up. A lot of coast-to-coast travel. Let's talk about it. So, a couple of weeks ago, probably about a month ago now, I was looking at the schedule during the Astros series, or maybe even back into the Rockies series. And it's like, all right, you got 3 against the Rockies, 4 against the Astros, 3 against the Yankees. That's what it was. It was before the Rockies series.
Yes.
And you're like, all right. You get the Rockies, 4 against the Astros, 3 against New York, and 2 against the White Sox. And that's 7 at home, 6 on the road. At the end of that, you should know what you have as a Rangers team, and you can kind of go forward or backwards. Well, you swept the Rockies. You split with the Astros. And then you got swept by the Yankees and lost 2 of 3 to the White Sox on the road. And so you kind of looking at the end of that, and you're like, really don't know what we are. Because you lost to a good Yankees team. There's no shame in that. You don't want to get swept. You split with the Astros, which at the time were right there with you behind the Mariners. The Astros have gone on a tear since. And then awful end to lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox.
I could argue that you actually do kind of know what you are after that. What's the record right now? 40?
500.
Yeah.
Well, 1 under 500.
1 under 500. You know what they went during that stretch?
1 under 500.
Well, yes. They were 6 and 7. Okay. So maybe you know what they are. They're a 500 team. That's what they're going to be.
But I guess my major point is that they didn't do what I wanted them to do.
Yeah, so exactly. They lost like 6 in a row in there or something like that. Yeah.
So now you go and you look at the next kind of that many game stretch. And there's another opportunity. But this time, instead of, let's kind of figure out what we are, it's at the end of the next 12-ish games, you're going to know a legitimate plan for the trade deadline. That's where you are in the season. At the end of these 12 games, really it's 13 because you got 4 with the Angels here. Leading into a Houston Astros series, you're going to know, all right, we are definitely going out and buying and going all in because we won 10 of 12. Or you're going to say, we could probably use some bullpen pieces, but we're really setting up for next year because we just lost 10 in a row heading into the All-Star break. Or if you go 500, you really don't know anything more than you know today, which is you need bullpen help and you need a power bat.
Yeah.
I mean, those things you know already. But I think in 2 weeks you could push all your chips to the middle if you perform well. And there's an opportunity to do so. 3 against Seattle, that's, movement in the AL West. You can catch up to second place. Then you get Baltimore again.
Who you've already dominated.
You won 2 out of 3. You should potentially sweep at home, yes.
I hesitate ever to say sweep.
That's Corbin, DeGrom, and then the return of Nathan Eovaldi, who's, by the way, pitching tomorrow night. And then you go to San Diego. You stay in Los Angeles. And then you come back to Houston.
So you wrap up the first half of the season before the All-Star break anyway on a 10-game road trip.
Yeah, and I'm really ending what I'm trying to say at Los Angeles, July 10th.
Yeah.
Because going into the Astros series, I'm assuming the Astros are going to be in first place at that point. I mean, that's not a leap.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Padres is a really tough road series, but you've been good on the road. Now it is right now rocker and lighter, the first 2 games of that series. So that kind of, your pitching doesn't quite line up to be good in San Diego.
Yeah.
And then it flips over again, and Corbin, DeGrom would start in Los Angeles. Corbin would be that final game in San Diego if everything holds true. But at the end of those 4 games in Los Angeles over the next 13, you should have some real solid, actionable plans for the trade deadline. Because if you ask me today, and Bullfighters asked a couple times on the chat line, and other people have too, what's the plan in the deadline? I don't know. Like, certainly bullpen help. Certainly. I think the other plan is to just get healthy in the rotation. I think you have guys around. But I don't think you can wait on Josh Spores and have him fix the bullpen. I think you need other guys. And then you have to have somebody protect the lineup. Yeah. You brought in Jock Peterson. You brought in Jake Berger.
Neither of them.
Those were the guys with the expectation to do so.
Yeah.
And neither of them have done it. So is there a slugging first baseman out there you could go get as a rental? Is there a right fielder out there that you could go get as a rental?
What are you going to have to give up?
And then also, what are you doing with Adolis? Are you flipping him for bullpen pieces? Do you keep him? Sorry, Aroldis.
Yeah.
No, I said it right. It's Adolis. All right, we'll come back, do some highs and lows after this. 100.7 The Score is the end of the bench.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. Was that Fergie? No, that was Gwen Stefani.
I think so, yeah.
What you know about me? What you know about me?
What you know?
No, I don't think that's either one of those. Who sings that? My lip gloss is popping. Don't cut that. Let's see. Please.
Please do.
If Clint was in there, that would be everywhere. I'm glad he's not in the booth today. All right. Let's see. Who sings that? All right. A trivia question for the people because we don't know it. And I don't even feel dumb because I've never even heard of this. What European country has the capital Sofia? Sofia. Sofia is the capital of what European country?
Lil Mama, by the way.
Yeah, I knew. I mean, I didn't know Lil Mama, but
yeah,
I knew it wasn't the people we were saying.
Yeah.
So if you can help us out on the chat line, we're trying. Well, we kind of cheated, but we're trying to go 9 for 9 again on our trivia. Sofia is the capital of what European country? See, it's not just sports. We learn other things here. Okay. Let's do some burning questions.
2 minutes of non-stop in-your-face inquiries with no end in sight. It's time for Burning Questions.
How we doing, gentlemen?
Is that the first burning question?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Doing good, Collier.
Lucas, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right. Question number 2.
All right.
We mentioned Barry Bonds is getting a statue of the San Francisco Giants.
Yep.
Nolan Ryan, Yvonne, Pudge, Rodriguez already have theirs at Globe Life Field.
Beltre is getting one.
Beltre is getting one. So, who should be next?
Well, Elvis goes into the Hall of Fame this weekend. I wouldn't mind to delay the Beltre statue until you get Elvis there, and then do a duo statue.
That would be.
Of them both trying to catch a fly ball, or Elvis rubbing his head or something.
That would be phenomenal.
But in like the history of the Rangers, I don't know that Elvis is the next guy. I was a little surprised that Beltre was getting a statue. Beloved. Love Beltre. Had several seasons with the Rangers.
Do you think that was partially to coax him to have a Texas Rangers hat?
Maybe.
To go in the Hall of Fame?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. The next Rangers statue. Michael Young would probably deny one.
And what would it be anyway? I mean...
Yeah.
Sorry, I love Michael Young, but
staring.
It's not the most exciting individual.
The Rangers are so interesting because a ton of great players in the history of the Rangers. A ton. But you didn't really have any team success until in the playoffs. You literally had no team success in the playoffs until 2010.
Yep.
It was your first playoff series win.
Some of those people you don't like nobody.
Yeah, you put C.J. Wilson on a statue? No.
Obviously not going to put the right fielder on the statue, right?
Nope, or the center fielder.
Yeah.
Who has had some troubles post-career.
Yeah.
And pre-career and mid-career.
Mid-career.
I don't know that there is another one.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing a real throw. What about Tom Grieve?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Put a headset on him?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
The cookie lady bringing him some cookies? Also a player, manager?
You could give him a little peanut butter cookie plate out there in the booth.
Statue, so he doesn't care if they're dry.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if he just had an empty plate and people could bring cookies? People could bring cookies and put them on the plate.
Eric Nadel, maybe.
Yeah, Eric Nadel.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. And maybe
tough,
that's
though,
just some. It was just some busts over there in the museum area over by Chuck Morgan.
Yeah. It's tough. You're right, though. They've had a lot of, but Will Clark.
Right.
Rafael Palmeiro.
Palmeiro, yeah.
I mean, A-Rod. Yeah, it's a lot of people that I guess did most of their damage elsewhere or you don't really want to associate with.
Yeah, or you just didn't have the kind of team success. And Beltre didn't really have the team success either. I guess he was there for that first World Series appearance. Or did he come in 2012? I always get the Beltre. I think he played against the Cardinals.
Yeah, but there's not. Yeah, I'm trying to I think of Rusty Greer, but Rusty Greer doesn't. You're not getting a.
Yeah, I mean, are we putting Craig Gentry out there? Old kitten face.
Do you have anybody, Lucas? Because clearly we're.
Yeah, I'd go Tom Grieve or Eric Nadel.
I think that says something about the history.
Well, and again, even further back, you'd have a lot of great players, but are they to the level of Nolan Ryan and Pudge?
Yeah, but that's not really fair.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But that's the standard you set.
Yeah. Well, you can change the standard. We know that. All right.
Yeah, but once you change the standard, then you're just putting anybody out there.
Yeah. Okay, I heard a version of this on the morning drive. I think it was a two-parter on the morning drive.
Okay.
I don't listen all the time, unlike what some people on the show think.
Yeah, or text in ever.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say I didn't do that. I just said my name wasn't Sheboygan State guy. Let's see. What's the most intriguing thing that you'll be paying attention? What intrigues you most about maybe the first game of the new look Texas Tech football team? Obviously we know the hype and what you want and but what are you most interested to watch in that first game against one of the best logos in college sports?
Lucas, we kind of skipped you on the last one, so you start here. What are you most interested in
I just don't think he had anybody, which is understandable.
Not for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Not at all. For what am I most interested for Texas Tech football?
Week 1, yeah.
Not Chris Davis? You wouldn't have put Chris Davis statue up at both places?
No.
No.
Maybe Nathaniel Lowe. That's my favorite Ranger of all time.
Man, they opened up a trivia question on the broadcast the other day, and I don't think they ever went back to it, or I missed it. It was during the Orioles game, game 1, and it was players that hit a certain amount of home runs with the Rangers and the Orioles. And Chris Davis was the first one I thought of. But there was a time there when there was, like, the Orioles were the Rangers' B team.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
For me, it's just getting all the guys that we've talked about in the portal all summer long, all just the anticipation of getting them out on the field, seeing them in the Red Raider jersey, and seeing, I wouldn't say if they meet expectations, but just kind of seeing them out there flying around. I know week 1 isn't really the best tale of competition, but just seeing all the guys that Tech has spent all their money on in the portal and getting them all together on the field for the first time.
I have one very obvious thing I'll be watching, and I don't know that anyone else will be watching it specifically, but I don't know that I'll watch anything else in this game beyond the trenches.
Yeah.
The offensive line and defensive lines, because you go back to week 1 last year, and your offensive line's getting bullied by ACU, and your defensive line is getting bullied, and there's texts on the chat line, there's calls in the post game, group texts, social media. Why does our defensive line look so much smaller than ACU?
Yeah.
Why do we not look like we belong on the field with ACU? So I'm doubling down on the trenches. I'll be watching the offensive line. If they're not pushing around Arkansas Pine Bluff, we have a problem.
Yeah.
And if the defensive line's getting pushed around by Arkansas Pine Bluff, there's a problem. So I would say the trenches is the most intriguing matchup that I'm going to be focused on.
Yeah, that's one for me, and I don't know if it's a game 1 thing, but something we really haven't talked about. We've talked about all of these great players and everything, but like, what's the defense and the offense actually going to look like? Like, we don't know how either one of those coordinators are going to. I understand Shieldwood has been in the Big 12 before, but it's a little bit different now. That kind of intrigues me, but that might be game 4, right?
Yeah, I think that's you need a couple of games to figure that out.
Yeah.
More after this, 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back, 100.7 The Score. You guys have been killing it on the chat line this week. We'll try to catch up in this segment. You've been very, very good. We're also watching Fantasia on TV.
You're watching Fantasia.
We are. It's on in here. We're both in
It's
here.
on.
This movie freaked me out as a kid, but now I'm watching it. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's why.
But I do remember being freaked out watching it on VHS at home. I did ask you, too, the first movie theater experience you remember. You can answer on the chat line as well. The first movie theater experience you remember. I have 2 distinct memories at the movie theater as a child. One of them is we went and saw Batman in Abilene on like a little vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was around Christmas, right? Because the movie is around Christmas. And in the movie, right,
You're talking about
Batman, the original, Michael Keaton.
that wasn't around Christmas. That was a summer movie.
Well, I think
You're
it was
thinking of
I think it was a Christmas. I think they both were Christmassy, right? The second one, certainly with the penguin, is set
Christmassy.
at Christmas.
Yeah, I thought that was a summer movie.
Either way, maybe it's the summer.
Yeah,
Maybe it's the summer. But we're in Abilene, I think. Maybe if it was in the summer, we're in Richardson, Texas, with my grandparents. Either way, they lived in both places. At the movies with my parents, go and watch it. In that movie, Bruce Wayne and Thomas Wayne and the wife, Mrs. Wayne, are leaving a movie theater, walking down an alley, and get mugged, right? And killed. So, a spoiler alert.
yeah.
So, me and my parents are leaving this movie, walking out, and I'm like, oh, man, We got to protect old Mark here. We're going to get a mugger walking out. Mom, put your pearls away, Teresa. And then the other one, the very first movie theater experience I had was Aladdin. And I was terrified of Jafar as the snake. Terrified. And I was probably 4 or 5.
I'm pretty sure the one that I'm referring to, I told you, obviously when I was little, I lived on a farm. Not many opportunities to go to a movie theater.
Right.
But the one that I remember the most is when I lived in Japan on a military base. We watched Rocky IV. And it was just awkward. As a little kid at the end, again, military base.
Right. Everyone's chanting USA.
Everybody's chanting. Everybody stood up and cheered, and it was just...
Yeah.
And as a little kid, you're getting into it. I was like, oh, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
Rocky just knocked out Juan Drago. We won.
That's awesome.
Seems like it means a little more in here.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Lucas, do you have a first movie theater experience?
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids. Nice.
Yes.
I didn't realize those were in the theaters. I thought those were straight to Disney movies, but yeah, those were great.
Yeah.
Those were great.
I liked Spy Kids 1 was the first one I saw in theaters, obviously, but I remember Spy Kids 3,
3D.
Game Over, 3D,
Yeah.
getting those glasses.
Those little paper, they used to be the paper glasses with the blue
You
and
get a headache
blue and
and
red,
you take them off, and yeah.
Then they changed to like the plastic, like. Oh, we're getting Bulgaria. Sofia's the capital of Bulgaria. Let's see. Nice. I would have never guessed Bulgaria.
Absolutely not.
That is hilarious. Maybe a Seager statue. He would certainly be the current Ranger that's on pace for it.
Yeah, home run swing.
Home run swing, or the scream, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're going, World Series MVP. If they ever make it back with him in the mix, certainly. And you got, 8 more years on that contract? He is one of the only 2-time, maybe. Here's a trivia question for you that I don't know is true or not. I think there are 2 Major League Baseball players with 2 World Series MVPs with 2 different teams.
Corey Seager.
I think Reggie Jackson is the other one. Maybe A's, Yankees.
Well, that would be the 2 options, yeah. You might be right. That would make sense. I mean,
that's like a 2003 stat or 2023 stat I heard.
I would imagine they got the nickname for a reason.
Right, Mr. October.
Yeah. Nickname we didn't even go with, right?
Yeah, that's a good one we didn't talk about. Let's see. Bullfighter says, ask Jared Sandler. Oh, apparently there's 3. Rob, were you even alive in 1989 when Batman came out? Maybe it was the Penguin.
I think it's the Penguin, and the only reason I say that is because you have an affinity for the Penguin.
Certainly, maybe it was the Christmas. Because I remember it being at Christmas.
I saw the Batman movie, the original, and I know it was in the summer.
But now that I'm thinking about the years that it came out, that's certainly. Oh, man, we missed that. Oh, no, we talked about it just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it, it actually probably could have been even the 3rd or 4th one that I watched in theater. Because when did the second one come out?
I'm getting there. Well, that's...
now my memories are lying to me, and I don't like that.
What was the name of that one? Batman Returns? Or
Batman Returns, Batman Forever.
No. I'm getting the new Batman. There we go. Let's see. 1992 was the Michelle Pfeiffer.
Nope, wouldn't have been that one either. So we got it
apparently it was Christian Bale.
When did the George Clooney movie come out?
George Clooney one, is that the one that had like poison ivy?
Yeah. That's your favorite one.
Jim Carrey? No,
that's Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, that's 1995. The 1995 one's that's
gotta
Harvey
be
that's Harvey Two-Face and Poison Ivy. The Seal one is 1995.
I went to a Batman movie as a kid in Abilene.
And it had Christian Bale in it.
No.
Robert Pattinson was great.
Yeah, it sounds like quite the vivid memory. Apparently, I've just made up this memory, and the Aladdin one is real. The Aladdin one is real.
Was that the one with Will Smith in it?
No. No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. But honestly, I don't know. I can't trust my memories now. What Batman movie did I go see as a child in the theater? I'll do some research.
Okay, yeah,
I'll do some research. This texter says the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Ninja Rap? That was the second one, though, right? I think Vanilla Ice wasn't in the first.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Go Ninja.
Did you see that one in the theater, too?
No, I had those VHSs, though.
Yeah.
We didn't check the chat line like I was trying to.
We need to add that to highs and lows.
We'll do that when we come back. 100.7 the score. It's the end of the bench.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 the score.
Welcome back. 100.7 the score. It's the end of the bench. Texter says, is kicker the hole? I think Camo says, we'll find out if the hole is coaching, in my opinion. And then on Dingle, he says, let me guess, Joey Maguire is excited about him. With a couple of exclamation points. You can complain about it all you want. I would prefer to Joey be excited about everyone than not. What do you want a coach to say?
Yeah. It's just that's his crutch. I mean.
Yeah, but that's never bothered me. Let's see. I think Burt should stick. Good pull, Collier. Big Ten Burt really flows.
I might have something for you in the next minute or so.
Oh, gosh. Benchwarmers. You have the opportunity of a lifetime to broadcast any one game of any of your favorite sports teams. What are you going with?
Well, I think since we're on the topic, why don't we do a football national championship game? That would be right?
Oh yeah.
I mean
if it's not the national championship, a home Texas Tech playoff game, to be doing it in the Jones booth, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Any Rangers game would be awesome to me. Of course, like, if you're getting to pick scenarios, it would be a World Series Game 7 for the Rangers. Though I don't know if I'd want to do that. Maybe Game 1 of the World Series.
Why, so you could just watch the rest and enjoy it?
Yeah, if it's Game 7, I don't know if I could control. I don't know if I could be a professional broadcaster. Like, that'd be Tony Romo in there. Oh, I don't know, Jim. What would you do, Lucas? Oh, gosh.
Ovechkin's last final home game.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Big moment. Be better if they were in the mix.
Yeah.
If it was a playoff game or something.
Yeah.
What would your line be as Texas Tech is winding out the clock to win a football national championship?
I'd have to do some thought. I
will.
I don't write lines.
I will. We did, or something like that. Who do you think I am? I are. We did. I will. Something like that. I almost.
The price of a barrel is 6 points, baby. No, I don't know that I have. I don't write lines. I would just feel them in the moment.
Oh, really? You don't prep them like Jim Nantz?
No, I've never written a line.
Good. It had to be.
I
something.
have used other people's lines as jokes.
Yeah.
There's one guy that used to say he's now in a band. You might know him.
That's what he said?
No, he used to say, he got it from his grandma or something. He's like, that's a trip through the turnip patch or something when they scored touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Blaze. He might be listening. We do have a Big Ten Burt on the chat line now, if you want to use that graphic. If I need a Twitter picture profile at some point, I might use that.
Yeah, it would fit perfectly.
It didn't cross my mind that those pictures were going to come back and bite me.
less than 24 hours later. The first thing I thought was like, man, I've got a new profile picture.
Immediately. Well, yeah, but in like a positive way, I thought yours looked good.
I think yours looks great, too.
Well, yeah, but it's Big Ten Bird. It's the text around it. I will say I did not tell them to add a better mustache here. But they gave me a pretty good mustache in the.
It looks. You look great. I thought that picture was phenomenal. It's a lot better than the one that I sent you of you and Kevin Durant eating peanut butter cookies. You kind of look like Danny DeVito.
Ravenous, and my eyes were touching.
Well, they had dark circles like Danny DeVito's penguin.
Here's Tony Bromo, and you look like Peter Griffin. Yeah, it looked like a Family Guy style. Fill the national championship trophy with tortilla soup, baby, is what Kamo would say. Tortilla soup is the most overrated soup.
I know, that's probably why you went with that.
I don't know that does that take well notified?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know that.
You've gotten very Chuck Hines on that take. You mentioned it at least 8 times.
It comes up. Bring it up out of nowhere.
You don't like corn popping up and stuff.
It feels like a bug out of context.
Have you ever eaten a bug before? Doesn't taste anything like corn. Trust me, I know.
But it's the pop and the feel in your mouth. Now you're bringing up my takes out of nowhere.
What?
Lucas, how you doing in there?
I'm more concerned that
I'm watching this clock tick down, man.
I'm more concerned that Bullfighter has me as the guy with less hair in both pictures.
Well, you're older,
but I have more hair than you.
So you're saying you should be Tony Romo?
Yeah.
Well, I am the one here, so well,
that's what I'm saying. It's not
in the context. I would be Jim Nantz in this, and you would be Tony Romo.
Yep, but in the other one, yeah, no, it would be. So you
I didn't actually pull up the other one.
Well, the other one's Mike Bassick and.
Oh, Dave but that Raymond. One's right though, because I would.
That one
Dave
is
Raymond.
Correct.
Does Dave Raymond have a lazy eye, or is that me? Wait, whose eyes are those?
Like way.
I think I might have a lazy eye.
You want to
find myself.
Open my eyes a little more.
Do I have a lazy eye? Oh, let's see. Like way older, he says. Kamo says the tortilla soup take is known, bro, and I'm 100% with you. See,
so it was a cheap shot.
There you go. No, what a cheap. Well, tortilla, Texas Tech, I get it.
No, well, it's not like we're throwing tortilla soup on the field.
No, it's true.
It's a good idea. It's better than not maybe open beer cans. Not that happened at a game at all last year.
No. Or water bottles or anything else. It's a little hot for tortilla soup today, though. Just go full Chuck Hines.
Yeah. And another thing about the grass clippings. And why are we painting fire hydrants?
Now we've got crazy eyes from Mr. Deeds. It's Rob's lazy eye. Oh, man. I used to could cross one eye like a bit. I don't know if I could do it anymore. It kind of hurts to do.
Yeah. Give you a headache.
Yeah, it gives you a headache, and it's like...
Afraid it's going to stay like that.
Yeah. Of course, I don't know that I could do much to me, I guess. I don't know. Oh, man. The Texas Rangers off tonight. The Phillies playing this afternoon against the Astros right here on the home of the Astros. Of course, you can take in 40 minutes of the bottom line, and then they'll toss it over to the Astros broadcast at 12:40. Stick around as the Astros will try to win 1-0 again. Or maybe it's 3-0 today. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0.
That would make sense, yeah.
Well, they got Hunter Brown on the mound today. So
certainly could be a 0.
Definitely could be a 0.
Could be a 0. And then the Rangers-Mariners play next week. Moving into next week, Lucas, we'll talk about this really quick. I won the bet of the
we
Rangers.
Made this far
Orioles.
into the show. It's crazy.
But Lucas, do you want to double down? So the payoff of the bet is going to be you do burning questions for a full week. So that'd be 4 burning questions days. So it's technically nice for Collier and Craig as well. But do you want to double down and do 2 weeks or nothing?
I'll double down.
Okay. So I'll do burning questions next week, and then when we get to the next Orioles series, it'll be post that, and we'll double down from there. So we might get 2 full weeks of Lucas White burning questions on the line.
I'll take that. Go Rangers.
Dallas says corn and anything is blah, but tortilla soup without corn is pretty good, especially more green than red. If you're adding green chilies to stuff, I might be in.
With corn?
I don't know. This was Into the Bench, 100.7 The Score. I'm Rob Breaux alongside David Collier. Lucas White will be back tomorrow with Craig. The bottom line up next.
That was awkward.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.